Okay, welcome to Mom Tip Tuesday. Moms, tell me if you can relate to this feeling, being at the end of the day and feeling so exhausted. You don't even want to think about dinner. You could care less what you eat. Forget being healthy, forget feeding your family a nutritious meal. You don't even care if you go through the drive-thru at McDonald's. You're too tired to even think about what to eat. And forget about homework. Who cares if the dishes need done? You are just exhausted. And then tomorrow, you get to the end of the day and you feel the same way. Raise your hand. So I want to talk today about why we're so exhausted, aside from the obvious, and some tips to overcome the overwhelm. So let's first just say and state the obvious that as a mom and a wife or spouse or partner, as a caregiver, a homemaker, maybe an employee or entrepreneur, business runner, it's obvious why we're exhausted because we wear a lot of hats. But there are some key factors that add to that exhaustion that aren't necessarily necessary. They're just contributing to it, and there's little things that we can do to help overcome that overwhelm. So the first thing is that we have a lot on our plate, and we have a lot of to-dos that need to be done. And I want you to realize, because I just realized this and learned this, is that every time we have to make a decision, we are using brain power. So every time we come to a crossroads and it's time to figure something out and make a decision, like say, what's for breakfast? And your kids say, Mom, what's for breakfast? And you suddenly have to stop and you go through the list of options of you can have cereal, you can have yogurt, you can have waffles, you can have a smoothie. You go through, every time you have to stop and make a decision, you're using brain power. So then your kids come up and they're like, Mom, what do I wear today? What do I need for school? What's for lunch? What's for snack? I'm hungry. What's for dinner? On top of you trying to figure out what laundry needs to be done. What do I need to do for work? What does my boss need from me? What do I need to do in my own business to move it forward? All of these decision-making moments use our brain power. And so if we are leaving all of our decisions to be made in the moment, we are going to burn through that gas in our tank really fast. It's like going in on a car ride, and every time you have to speed uphill or make a turn or slow down and make a turn, you're using gas. Instead of when you set on cruise control and you go on autopilot, you conserve gas and you're able to go a lot further. So we get to the end of the day and we are exhausted. So the tip to help overcome that is to make as many decisions as needed ahead of time. There are key things in your everyday life that you know are gonna need a decision to be made. So if you can, make that decision in ahead of time. So one of the things I do is I plan out all of my dinners for the week on the weekend beforehand, because I know that anytime I don't have dinner planned, by the time we get to dinner time and everybody's starting to complain that they're hungry, I usually at that point don't even care. I don't feel like making a decision. I don't want to make the decision. I don't want to have to even think about it. And then not only do I not want to have to think about it, I don't want to have to take the time to like pull the food out and make something and clean up and do the dishes because I'm too exhausted. So when I plan ahead and I have a little calendar with that I put up on the fridge and I have each dinner listed for the week, I'm able to go through my day and know that that dinner's planned. The ingredients are in the fridge or in the pantry, and I'm ready to go knowing what I'm gonna make, how I'm gonna make it, and usually about what time I'm gonna make it. So make as many decisions for yourself ahead of time so that you're not constantly stopping your flow of what you're doing throughout the day, trying to like put out fires and make decisions. The second thing is that we're doing the wrong things at the wrong time. So when I learned this was mind-blowing, like literally mind-blowing, because I could not figure out why I was exhausted and frustrated every day just trying to get little things done. So here's how I want to break that down for you. If you can take a look at your to-do list or your tasks that need to be done for the day, take a look and divide them or kind of subcategorize them. What things on your list do you need to do that you need like absolute concentration? What thing do you need to do that you cannot afford to have the phone ring, someone come to the door, your kids barge into your office, or come in and ask you questions, or your spouse ask you a question, or come to tell you about something? It's an action item, it's a to-do list item that needs complete, uninterrupted focus and attention. So kind of go through and mark those items that need that attention, and then look at your day and figure out what time or what area of your day can you fit that in, and let your family know, or let whoever's around know, like, hey, I've got to get this done, and I cannot have you come in and talk to me, or can't have you come in and ask a question. So if you have kids, I'm going to need you to get situated. You can spend time coloring, you can spend time on your tablet, yada yada. But the only way you can come in and interrupt me is if somebody's bleeding and we need to call 911. Also take a look and figure out what items can you do while somewhat distracted or multitasking. For instance, maybe it's something that you are returning an email, and if you have someone come in and interrupt you, it's not that big of a deal. You can stop what you're doing, help this situation, and then go back to what you're doing and pick up right where you left off. It was like a little dust particle. You can pick up right where you left off, no problem. You're gonna get right back in the flow. Schedule those items in. And I'm gonna give you an example. So my kids are home for distance learning. They're not back at school, our schools are still closed. And I was trying to fit in items that I could not afford to be interrupted. They were big items, they needed to be done, they needed my attention, they needed my focus, but I was trying to fit in the action item in the wrong time. And so when my kids would interrupt me and I'd lose my train of thought, or I'd lose my place, or I'd just completely, like, I was in a creative flow and I was going, and then I stopped and I came back and my mojo was gone. And I was like, well, my creativity's gone. I don't know where I was. I can't pick back up. Crap. I was getting frustrated. So a lot of our frustration and overwhelm comes from trying to do the thing at the wrong time. So try to coordinate and plan your day accordingly to what needs to be done and when it's appropriate to do. It can be hard as moms. It can be really hard as moms trying to fit in all these little things while taking care of kids, while homeschooling, while doing distance learning, while making meals and cleaning dishes and putting laundry away and keeping pets quiet while we're on Zoom. It's a lot. So do yourself a favor and take a look at your day ahead of time and move items around so that you have the least amount of frustration and you're able to get them done more effectively and efficiently. The last thing is just having an overall lack of direction or planning. So I am not a natural planner. This is my weakness. If you feel me, if you relate, usually it's creatives who are not naturally good at planning. So I've had to get good at planning, because otherwise I felt like I was living my day in reactive mode. Like I said before, putting out fires. I was just going from one little thing to the next. And then I might go in one room to do something and then forget why I walked in that room, and then see another thing that needed to be done. And then while I was halfway complete doing that, I remembered the other thing, and it was like I was just putting out fires and going from action item, to-do list thing to the next thing, and just feeling so frazzled. You need a system. You need to get a plan in place. So I ended up creating, because I've tried, random pieces of paper writing to-do lists, and I'd lose them, or I'd forget to go check back at it. So I ended up creating a planner for myself, which I would be happy to pass along to you. But I ended up creating that planner just because I knew I needed a spot to get all of my things out. So most people are not planning. They're not creating systems. And there is a quote I love that says, I'm probably not going to quote it correctly, so let's not quote me on this quote, but you're going to get the gist of it. We will rarely rise to the level of our goals, but we will always fall to the level of our systems. So if you feel like you are always one step forward, two steps back, you can't get ahead, and you feel busy, you feel like a hamster on a wheel, like go, 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 but you're busy, but you're not productive. You need to get some systems in place, some scheduling and some systems. And no, you don't have to have, an exact schedule that you keep all the time, because life is not always the same all the time. Not every day looks the same, but if you have systems in place, you're more likely to get the important things that actually matter done instead of just the busy work where you get to the end of the day exhausted thinking, I was so busy, but I have no clue what I even did. Because I'm sure you felt that way before. So create systems. Create systems. Know that you're going to get up in the morning and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get your Bible or get your journal or your devotional and you're going to go have quiet time. And then immediately after that, you go and you put your workout clothes on and you go out to the garage and you go for a workout. And then you come in and you shower and you get ready. Create a system for your day. Create order to your day so that you're able to get the important things that matter to you done. Because having the excuse of, I don't have time to work out, or, oh gosh, I would really love to like read my Bible more or read this book more or like have time to pray, but I just don't have the time. You've got to create a system and make the time. Make the time for what is important. Because when you get the important things done and you are able to be more productive with what matters, you're going to overcome a lot of the overwhelm and you will be able to trade a lot of the exhaustion for fulfillment. So I hope that that's helpful for you guys. If you have any questions or tips that you want to add to it, type them below. If there's one that you can relate to that you're like, man, I need to work on that. Man, I'm horrible at making decisions. Man, I am horrible at planning. I have absolutely zero systems. I am flying by the seat of my pants every day. I'm like a leaf blowing in the wind, like take me where it may. And then I never get anything done. I want to hear you comment and what you would love more help on so that we can dive a little deeper into that and help you get those things in place to help you go from striving to thriving. Have an amazing rest of your day.